What a day we have here for Minnesota sports. Big wild game against a good Bruins team. Huge Wolves game against a fantastic Pistons team. Then we got Twins baseball back again today. I'll let you guys decide if you are even going to watch that because some people they just don't know. Twins have lost a lot of the vote, so I'll be watching. I'm excited. Um, Two things. The Wild looking to push to catch up to Dallas. So we're going to be going through the standings a little bit and going a little bit through that. Wolves in a tight knit race in the Western Conference standings for the 3 seed, 3 through 6, really. Today's, like I said, a huge game just because it's against a big opponent like the Pistons, and they're having a great year. They're 53-20. But it doesn't do, you still got to win, but it's not like a game against the Lakers. And those games are bigger now going down the stretch. But if the Wolves can win today, it's a confidence booster. You compete with anyone type win. So we'll see if the Wolves can pull it off today. Before we get into my predictions for today, Kitchen Wise, Closet Wise, our sponsor for today's video. Family owned and operated business proudly serving the Twin Cities and surrounding others. If you're ready to truly maximize your space, they are the people to know. Specialize in creating custom solutions designed around how you actually live. From kitchens, closets, pantries, garages, and more, they're transforming underused or cluttered spaces into something both highly beautiful and highly functional. What sets them apart is their focus on smart layouts, quality materials, and custom designs that make the most of every inch. And so they do everything for a kitchen on the inside of their cabinets. They don't do your actual cabinets. They do everything on the inside. Less mobile people. This product is great for people that can't reach down as easily. Super convenient, easy rollouts, and they go push in very easily. 763-317-9021 to contact them over phone, and their website is kitchenwise.com. And so thank you for sponsoring. And when you guys do go over, you can book a free consultation. It's a free consultation. I don't know why you wouldn't. Let's get your guys' kitchens looking spotless and beautiful and renewed. So this is the first step, free consultation. Thanks for sponsoring Kitchen Wise. All right. Two things to go over today. We already made our Twins predictions on the show, and to kind of just review that, I guess, I'm going to list these off real quick. So I think Trevor and I both said we would lose this game. I need to see Taj Bradley do a little bit before I can really put my trust in him. Kyle Bradish on the mound for the Orioles. But either way, we already made our predictions for that. I'm not going to get into depth with it. Let's see here. I think I'll probably just do I'll go over the standings. How about that? Perfect. All right. I think what we're going to start off here is let's talk about this Timberwolves team real quick. Facing the Pistons today, and yeah, I'll just put the predictions up there. Here's the standings. I'm 78-56, 47 points. Trevor has caught almost all the way up in the point department, 43-34 for him. Let's go over to the Western Conference standings as they sit right now. All right, here's what it's looking like. The Lakers and the Nuggets are most likely just the ones fighting for the 3 seed. Now the Lakers have 48-26. They just went on, well, their last 10, I think they're 9-1. So Denver, they're 2 games above us with a 47-28 record. Well, I guess technically 1 game because we both have 28 losses. Wolves have played 2 less games than Denver because the Wolves are coming into this game against the Pistons 45-28. So what that tells me, we're really only fighting for, well, the 5 or 6 seed, which the Wolves are in the 5 right now. And in the playoffs right now, it would set up a Denver versus Minnesota series, which I would love. That series has been electric in the playoffs for 3 years now, going back and forth. The Wolves seem to have their number, but Denver is too good of a team that you can't take seriously. But the Wolves are coming off of a win against the Rockets, so that's even more positivity going into this game. The Rockets are right below us, so we distance ourselves by, well, 1 game because the Rockets just picked up another win. Big game today. Pistons are first in the East with a record of 53-20. Cade Cunningham, the whole gang in, which actually I think Cade is out for this game. He had like a respiratory injury. Chris Levert too, or Karis Levert. I forget how you say his name, but he's probable for tonight's game. So there is a lot of injuries. Jalen Duran, questionable. Wow, Isaiah Stewart too. He's out for this game. Tobias Harris is questionable. Wow. Asor Thompson, also questionable. They have the injury bug. I forgot they had Duncan Robinson. And he was out on Thursday's game against the Pelicans. No word for today, though. Wow, okay. That's a lot going into this game. Anthony Edwards also just got cleared for on-court activities like practicing and stuff, so that's a bit more positive. We're going to get him back pretty soon. Not for today's game, but Wolves fans, you're getting Ant back soon here. So honestly, I think I'll just get to my predictions with saying those. Pistons down a few men. I'm assuming not everyone will go. It's not a huge game for playoff implications. I mean, you can always like another win, but like I said, for the Wolves, it's nothing against some of the teams we're fighting for these spots in the West for. It's a West versus East game. I got the Wolves winning this one. I think those injuries might just be a little bit too much to overcome for the Wolves, if I'm being completely, or for the Pistons. So, yeah, that's a lot right there. That's a lot. As for the Wolves, I also need to check on Io and see if there's a word for that. Io, Desumu is questionable for tonight's game against the Pistons. If I had to say, like I said, like I've been saying, it's not a game against a West team that you're fighting playoff spots for. So I'm assuming that he won't go. One guy that is out, Jaden McDaniels, he's going to be out tonight with that knee injury he suffered against the Rockets. The other thing here that's just chipping at my mind is the Wolves are coming in off of just an awesome performance in overtime, down many guys to injury. Nasri got thrown out of the game early in overtime against the Rockets. 13-point comeback, biggest overtime comeback in NBA history. So the Wolves are coming in on a high, and I think they can ride that even with Jaden McDaniels being out. Jaden, for the most part, yes, you got the defense with him, but right now he has been an absolute non-factor on the offensive side of the ball, so I don't think it's really going to give you much difference here. I could see a very good Dante DiVincenzo game today. He's going to be shooting the ball more. I could also see another good Julius Randle game, because honestly, he's going to be the main scorer no matter what. Ant out, Jaden McDaniels out. He's going to get more chances in general. But yeah, I'm going to say Wolves win 119-111. And my player prediction will be, you know what, I'll stick with Dante. Dante, 3+ threes in today's game. Yeah, I like that. Trevor will not be predicting today. Yeah. All right, Wild game. The Wild facing the Bruins, which we've talked about a little bit, haven't gone over it a ton on the show so far, but you go into the Western Conference standings right here. The Wild are 3 points now behind the Stars. And so it is, we're going to be playing Dallas in the first round of the playoffs, but if there's any way that the Wild could jump them and get to the 2 seed instead of the 3, what does that mean? Well, if that series goes to a game 7, you're playing in Minnesota rather than playing in Dallas. You'd have more home games in that playoff series. So here's the thing with Dallas. Dallas has lost 5 straight games. Well, let me reframe that. They lost to Utah. They beat Colorado 2-1. And I'm pretty sure that game went into overtime. So it was a really good game. They won, but then we beat them. Then they lost to Vegas. Then they lost to the Devils. And then they lost to the Islanders. Biggest thing here with the last 3 games, Vegas, New Jersey, and the Islanders, is that none of those games they went into overtime. So that's even bigger for the most part. They don't pick up that point. So on the flip side of this, the Wild, they need to be winning mostly all the games that they are playing right now. The Stars have played one less game than us. But what I will say, we've gone over it on the show here. The Wild are in the midst of a pretty hard few game stretch here. They beat Dallas. They lost to Tampa Bay, and that was one of the worst losses on the season. It sucked with Philip Gustafson kind of own going, you could say, kind of just giving the Lightning an easy entry goal there with no no guardian of the net. I'm not even going to go over that. That was sad. But then the Wild come back into Florida and they beat the Panthers today. And here's the thing. They are completely healthy. The Wild just got Marcus Foligno back, which means now you're in a moment where you're scratching Bogosian from playing. You're scratching Nico Sturm 2 games in a row. You got so much depth and you got so much to look forward to this team now that they're completely healthy. And the other thing here is the Wild barely have any home games left on the schedule. And from right now, I think they only have 9 games left. Yeah, so this is going to be the ninth to last game of the season. You go Bruins, but then after that, I think there's a chance. If anyone wants to log on and watch Trevor still thinks there's no chance the Wild can come back and beat or get the 2 seed from the Stars. I think there's a very good chance, and I'm going to tell you why right now. Vancouver, you go Bruins today, and then Vancouver next Thursday. Whoa, you have almost a week-long break for the Wild. Wow, that's okay. So that's even crazier. You have Vancouver at home. The Wild should easily win that, undoubtedly. But then you have Ottawa, which Ottawa's having a good year. Our roster outperforms them 9 times out of 10. Detroit is a good team. That is definitely a game you could lose. But the Wild can beat and will beat any team at really any time. Plus, the Wild are the best team in the league against playoff record teams, playoff teams in the standings. And then we have Seattle, which they're barely above 500. The Wild should easily beat them. But then this is the big one. You have a chance to prove it to yourselves that you can get that 2 seed by playing the Dallas Stars on April 9th. You have a day of rest coming in. It's not like you're playing back-to-back days. It's in Dallas, but that's a day that you can prove to yourself that you can compete in the playoff series. And then down the stretch, 3 games after that, Nashville, the Blues, and then Anaheim. I know Anaheim's leading the Pacific with the weird 37-27 record or whatever it is. Anaheim is easily a team the Wild should beat, and they have beat them all year, really. And correct me, I'm going to correct myself here. Anaheim is 41-27 and 4. So have a few more wins than I thought, but Anaheim's not as good of a team as we are. It's not even close, honestly. The Pacific is such a weak division this year. The Wild should win now that you're completely healthy coming down the stretch. The Wild should win 7 out of the last 9 games. That's what I'd put the number at. That's what I want to see happen. That's what I expect, and that's what this team is capable of. And here's the thing that I'm saying here. The Wild in the last, let me just read you off the month of March. Loss, win, win, loss, win. Then a 3-game losing streak. Win, loss, win, loss, win. The Wild are due for a good stretch where they win 5 in a row or win 6 of 7 games. I think that stretch is going to come right here. I think they're going to be amped up and ready for the playoff push. I'm very excited for it because I think the Wild are going to go up and get that 2 seed. And a little bit more to add on to that as to why, I'm going to read the Dallas Stars schedule. They have 3 games left here in March, which they have Pittsburgh today, and then tomorrow they have the Flyers. Back-to-back games, never fun. And then 2 days later, they have Boston. That's a tough 3-game stretch. The Flyers are competitive this year. They really are. 35, 24, and 12. Pittsburgh and Boston, nothing to laugh at either. But then in April, you go, not a great Winnipeg team, but the Stars could lose that game anytime because who's in net? Connor Hellebuyck. But then the Stars, they have Colorado. They play the Avalanche again. That's never going to be fun for them. They should have a win against Calgary in the next game, but then that's our game against them. Wild versus Stars, April 9th. And then they have the Rangers, Maple Leafs, and Buffalo. And if people haven't been paying attention, Buffalo has turned into one of the best teams in the league. Toronto is always going to be competitive with the players they have. And the Rangers, they still have a good core. I mean, the Wild just lost to them, but it should be a game that the Stars win. Either way, the Stars' schedule is incrementally better than, or harder, I should say, than the Wild schedule. So this is just more icing on the cake. I got the Wild. I got the Wild in the 2 seed. I think they can do it. The team's healthy, and the Stars are battling a few minor injuries, and it shouldn't matter much, but minor injuries, they stack up. So either way, let's talk about the game today, though. Minnesota versus Boston. Minnesota, this was I think they played Boston in Quinn Hughes' first game, and I think they won 5-0 or 5-1, if I'm not mistaken. That was obviously in Minnesota. Vibes were high with Quinn Hughes. First game as in a wild sweater. The entire home crowd was hyped to see that. This one's in Boston, and if I go to Boston, I'm going to look and see how they've been in the last few games, because I think that's going to be what my prediction comes down to. So Boston, they beat Winnipeg 6-1, beat Detroit 4-2, lost to Toronto, and then they just beat Buffalo, coming off of a big win 3 days ago. So they're coming in off some extended rest. Same with the Wild, though. I think the Wild played on Wednesday. So extended rest, always good. As for my prediction, just like this high I've been on, I got the Wild winning. The Wild are the best team against above 500 teams in the NHL. Wild win. We're going to go 4-3. And my player prediction here, this is a difficult one. This is definitely a difficult one. So the Wild's first line has struggled. The Wild's first line has definitely struggled. And I wanna kind of urge them to get through the door a little bit. Kirill get more shots on net. Zuccarello. But I'm not confident in it right now. I'm gonna say 2 D-man goals for the Wild. Yeah, I'll just say that. 2 D-man goals. And what I'm picturing here is another Quinn Hughes goal against the Bruins, maybe a Brock Faber. I have a feeling the Wild, the lines aren't out yet. I'm recording pretty early in the morning. I have a feeling Jeff Petrie will be in again for Bogosian. It was nice seeing a little bit of a younger, speedier guy rounding out that defensive room for the Wild. But either way, it should be Gus back in net tonight. Wallstead just had the last game against Florida. There we go. Big day in Minnesota sports. 2 big games for the Wolves and Wild, and the Twins. They're back today. Taj Bradley on the bump. Everyone enjoy this fantastic day of Minnesota sports. And again, from yesterday, our video, congrats to Van Villaran for winning the Minnesota Twins opening day ticket giveaway. I'm in contact with her and getting those tickets sent over, so I'm sorry no one has a second chance of winning because she didn't respond. She responded, and it's going good. So everyone, for today, though, thank you for watching. Enjoy your Minnesota Sports Day. It's a big one. Also enjoy some March Madness Elite 8 action. My Volunteers pulling off the big win last night. I got them tomorrow against Michigan. You have to. Final Four up next for that. And we're about to include our points from the March Madness predictions that we did. So if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Trevor's going to jump ahead of me in points here in the next few days. So either way, people stay tuned. The predictions segment coming down to the wire. We have new segments on Thursdays called Throwback Thursday. A lot of new stuff here. Love the support on YouTube. Keep it up. Approaching 5,000 subscribers. It's freaking awesome. So everyone, thank you for that. Go follow the Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify. We'll see you tomorrow.